everyone. My name is Dr. Vanessa Dunn Guyton, and I am the Executive Director of Hush No More. Hush No More supports survivors when they're ready to come forward to share their story or just to get some resources or to have somebody to listen to. We also do training in our community on what I call the hush topics: sexual assault, domestic violence, human trafficking, child sexual abuse, incest. All of those topics that families and friends and communities have a hard time discussing, we talk about them here. And so some of you know that we recently did a concealed weapon permit class. And I am the firm believer that if you want to protect yourself, you should be able to protect yourself, but let's learn how to protect you legally. I think that is so important to know the legal ramifications of using a weapon, and especially when you have a restraining order in place against somebody that has sexually assaulted you or somebody that you were in a domestic violence relationship with. So that is my goal, to inform you and to be able to give you information to protect yourself. So that is what we are going to talk about today. How can you, right, protect yourself without using a gun? Because I've had people say, Vanessa, I don't like guns. I have kids in the home, and so I don't want to use them, right? Me, I have a 9mm that sits right beside my bed. And throughout my house, I have other weapons as well because I take safety very serious, right? It's serious. And so if they come up in here, I know the laws and the rules of the things that I have to say to make sure that I am protected legally and that I could defend myself. And so it's important that we all learn that and know that. And that's what I want you to learn from my guest today. It is so important. And don't take safety lightly. Okay. So we are going to talk to Miss Angie McCall. Let me bring her in. Hello, Angie. How are you?
Hello, I'm well. How are you?
I'm great. I am having like this pollen type thing going on in my throat, like it's like stuck there, but I'm pushing through and I'm still happy and glad to be here with you tonight. But I'm doing good. And I was telling my guests that I take safety very seriously. I think it's important. And I think that we need to hear from experts and people who have experienced things to know what we can do to protect ourselves and also our family. So I'm glad that you are here with us tonight to talk about some of the things that you've done and your experiences and just to inform everybody. So for me, I wanted to know, who is Angie growing up? Who was Angie as a little girl?
Okay. Well, I grew up in California. I'm from the Bay Area, and I am now. So I did join the Army, and I learned to protect myself through the Army. But as a little girl, I did experience sexual trauma. So I think it's very important that as a female, we learn how to protect ourselves. And I think had I known then the things that I know now, I would have been able to protect myself a little bit better. So I think that starting to educate our children early as different situations that they might come across early is a key factor in protection. I don't think that there is an age that is too early to start protecting our children. I think education is key.
I think that too. People will ask me, well, how old should we start talking to our children about their bodies and the body autonomy and just actually telling them that? And I recommend when you're changing their diaper, early as possible. And they say, that early, yes. When you're changing that diaper, you say things like, Mommy loves you, Daddy loves you, nobody's supposed to be here. This is the only time that mommy or daddy should be here is when I'm changing you. And you talk to them and I love you and start pouring that into them at a very early age. And so you are absolutely right that we have to start early. Do you think that you really learn how to protect yourself in the military?
I learned different tactics
Okay.
because I did grow up and became aggressive and started fighting, but I don't think that that truly protected me.
Okay.
I think that was just an outlet. But as I grew older and learned how to use self defense to protect myself, and I learned that through the Army and some of the self defense classes that they put us through. where we were unarmed. And I
So
think that helped.
that helped. So I was in the Army as well. And a lot of people know that my story is military sexual trauma. And I always wondered, was I really protecting myself from being, because I guess I had freeze. You know, you have fear, fight, flight, freeze. I froze. And even though I knew the training from the military, I still didn't defend myself. And I think that that's important, that sometimes we still have training and then we're not always 100%. So we got to add on and continue learning. And I think that's really important because I don't think I had enough. Or sometimes you find yourself in certain situations where you're a little nervous. Right?
Right.
So, and I didn't know you were in the Army. So thank you for serving.
Thank you. You as well.
I
You as
didn't realize that. So for you, you think that if you had it as a child, you would have been able to protect yourself more, maybe.
I think as a child, if I had known about some of the different situations that a child could possibly be put into, I would have been able to recognize and say, hey, this doesn't seem right.
Mhm.
Um, then maybe I could have talked to my mom or felt comfortable speaking to my mom and let her know that some things were going on. In that way, even though at a young age I may not have been able to protect myself, I would have been able to communicate with my mother so she could have protected me better. And so I am now a damsel in defense rep. So that way I can try and help educate women to educate their children. So that way I'm using the experiences that I've gone through to help others protect themselves and their families.
I love that. I like when somebody takes their supposed to be negative experience, right, and turn it into something good. That's one reason why I do Hush No More Champions, so that we could spotlight survivors who are ready to share their story, but are doing great things in the community, even though they are survivors. And I think that's an honor that you can really change that. Like I honor you in this moment to be able to share your story and to be able to do something about it. That's in your power and control. So that's a good thing. I love that.
Yes, it's taken me a while to get to this point to be able to share.
Yeah. And
And
I'm so
it's
proud of
just,
you. I'm proud of
thank
you,
you.
man, because it's not easy. It's not easy.
It's not, because it started at childhood and it continued through into adulthood, even into the Army.
Yeah.
But I am now able to speak my full story, which would probably take up the whole segment.
But I
But
think that people need to know that it's hard to tell, but that it's possible and that you could be considered a form it's courageous, right? And we don't always look at
yes,
ourselves as being courageous. But
yes,
I think you're courageous because I kind of threw this on you, right? I was
yes,
like, oh, you're a survivor too. What do you want to share your story? And you kind of hesitated, and you was like, "Sure, I will." And most people have been doing this for years, right? They've been sharing their story, and so I know that this wasn't something that you practiced, that you were really prepared for. And was that yesterday we talked or day before?
yesterday.
Yeah,
It
right.
was yesterday or the day before.
He was like, "Well, oh, okay, I could do it." So you're so courageous because it wasn't something planned, but I just really wanted people to know and hear this during Sexual Assault Awareness Month and to get it out. I thought it was so important,
Yes,
and I'm proud of you. And I can't tell you that enough. That how proud I am of you, and
yes,
you're taking your power back by
I am.
telling your own
I am.
story. So yay, go Ann.
It's it started, the earliest I remember was age 7, and I was raped by a stepbrother. And it continued up until the age of about 16. And I finally told my mom. And we went to the police station and they told me that the statute of limitations had ran out. And I said, okay, well, if you can't do anything for me, I have 3 nieces that live in the home with him. Can you at least do something for them? Can you protect them? And they told me no, they couldn't do anything for them. So at that point, I then went to my aunt and my stepdad and I let them know what had happened. So that way they would be aware. And then I went into counseling for the first time. And then it's funny now that I look back that I was so hurt that the counselor went on vacation and never saw me again.
What? That's messed up.
It was. And I was like, wow, am I that damaged that he had to take a vacation after speaking with me?
No, he just wasn't a good counselor. And they're out there.
But at 16 years old, that's how I felt.
Yeah.
So I bottled it all back up and never spoke of it again. And so much had happened that I couldn't walk down the aisle with the sausage. I still to this day won't eat bratwurst. I barely eat sausage. Like, I have to cut it up in order to eat it. But that's why I say starting early with educating the children is key. It's key, and it plays a big role. And I know we were speaking about some of the books that I offer through the Damsel in Defense. And some of the books talk about the child sexual trauma from a neighbor or a friend. And some of them talk about the stories that we used to hear growing up about the boy using a dog to get the little girls to the van. One of the books that I offer has that same scenario. And I was like, you know what? I think I want to join this company. This is what I want to do to get my story out, to help educate these parents or help the parents educate these children. And then even through adulthood, I was raped as a teenager. Well, almost raped. My friends were able to jump in and help me as I screamed for help. And as an adult, that same stepbrother raped me again. I froze, just like you said, military training, and he cornered me and I froze. And then at my grandmother's funeral, I remember us walking to the store, and then on our way back, as we got to the house, I don't know what triggered it. I don't know if he said something or touched me, but I just remember blacking out and then him putting me in a headlock and me biting him. So I had finally got that courage to fight back. And I immediately went in the house and told my stepfather and my aunt that he had done something or tried something. Again, I blacked out, so I don't remember what it was. But I spoke up and I said something, and they immediately made him leave. And then when Dad passed away, I told my daughter, because I was bringing her, and she was a teenager, about 16 years old. And I told her, if he looks at you wrong, if he sits too close, if he says anything, call your grandma and tell her to come get me.
Oh, because you was going to beat his behind?
I was. Hey, that's my baby girl.
Call your grandma to come get me, because I might be in
He's not going to do to you what he did to me.
Right.
But then I had to think, like, no, I have to have faith. I've taken care of this once. And I prayed on it. And the day we arrived at the airport, I asked my aunt, is he going to be there? And she said, no, he went to jail 3 days ago. Yeah. And I said, that's God looking out. Yeah. He's protecting us.
Or protecting him.
One or the other. And protecting us, he protected him.
He protected him. That's right.
So, but of course, as me gone through and having a little girl, I made sure to educate her And as my son became of age at 5, I went to the library and got some books that started off, like you said, with the children at bath time. And it started with the body parts and educating him. And he said, Mom, why you get me this nasty book? And I said, because you need to know as a child what your body parts are, what good touching is, what bad touching is, who should touch you, when it's okay, when it's not okay. And he said, okay. And I realized he wasn't ready yet. So we tried it again a year later. And he now knows, well, of course, he's 18 now, but he became aware on what good touching was, what inappropriate touching was, who was allowed, who wasn't allowed. And it helped. And I had to talk to a friend because she would tell her daughter that her private area was called her flower. And I said, no, because if somebody at school tells her, hey, why don't you smell my flower? She's going to stick her nose in their crotch. I was like, and that's not what you want to teach her. You need to teach her what things are called in the proper way, the proper terminology. So that way she has an understanding of her body. And so I sent her one of our books and told her to start with her daughters that way.
Start with her daughters that way. I always recommend that you tell them the real name for their body parts, because if we ever have to go to court, the child can say, this is what happened to me. It was my vagina, it was my penis. Or if they just report it, we know that that's what really happened to them, and it's not a
Right.
nickname. And so it helps us in court. It helps us to be able to fight back, to have clear understanding from your child when they tell you something. So I'm glad that you corrected her. And sometimes we need that friend to just tell us, because we didn't think about it. Like, she don't think about it. Like, some people say they're
Right.
a cookie. No, we can't call it a cookie. You got to call it what it is, because they need
Right.
to know how to protect that area as well. So I'm glad that you're educating parents on that. And
Right.
um, just part of your story, what gets me upset is that our judicial system doesn't always protect victims. And so
Right.
you hear me just going in on this, our laws, and how we have to change our laws, and actually who we vote for, and make sure that who you're voting for really supports victim rights, because there should not be a statute of limitation on the fact that you raped me at all,
Right.
right? And that's crazy to me. And it happens in different states. And I just disagree with that. If you rape me, you rape me. I should be able to have some type of justice, or at least to let people know
Right.
what happened. And so that's what it takes, is for us to know, like, stories like yours. That
Right.
this is
Right.
real.
'Cause it took me 16 years to come forward because I was scared.
Yeah.
He was my older brother.
Mhm.
So who was I supposed to tell?
Yesterday we talked about repressed memories, and that was part of yours too. Like, there's definitely parts that you don't remember. And I just point that out so that people could say, man, this is real. What they talk about on this show is real,
It
right?
is.
We're not just making up stuff. This really happens to people. All right.
It
So your
is.
books, right? I bought one of your books for my grandson because I met you a year ago. And I was like,
Yes.
yeah, my grandson needs this. And I actually want to do something with my grandson for a book. Let's see what you got.
So this is our book for toddlers. Yes. So we recommend starting with the toddlers.
What is it called?
This is called Armor. What do heart defenders wear? So this is the one talking about clothing and um and the body parts. And it talks about, like, and this one particular, it just talks about the helmet and how the helmet protects their mind from scary thoughts and the bad dreams, and about the breastplate, that the body armor, and how that protects your heart. And it talks about the shield, and it just talks about, the different things that your body armor protects. and how it keeps the children safe. One of the other ones we have is Chance's Champion. And this is the fortitude of kidversations. And this one talks about, this one is, this little kid is spending the night at her cousin's house.
And we know what all can happen at the cousin's house.
Right.
We know what can happen at the family
So
house,
each
stranger house. Yep.
And each book has a different scenario. And right now, when you purchase a book, they're also giving away a digital parent hand guide, which helps you have the conversation with the children. So that's coming free. And on top of the corporate giving away the parent hand guide digitally to you for free, I am offering to donate. If you buy a book, I will donate a book to your organization.
That made my heart smile. Because we have kids that need it, right? We have kids,
right?
And it helps if you buy one for your child, and then for another child, that's how you bless somebody else.
Yes,
I love that.
Yes,
and I think that books help you start the conversation.
Yes,
that helps you start the conversation with your children. Especially, we should be encouraging them to read anyway.
Right.
Reading time. So I love it. I never had a book that I could read with my kids to talk about this, but I think it would have made it easier. But I did buy it for my grandson, and that's what they use to just have the conversation. But I talk about some of everything, and he
follows. And we have other kids' products. It's in our Safe Hearts line, which is a children's line. We have games and lunch boxes and dishes, children's dishes, and all kinds of neat things. We have badges that you can incorporate with the books. So like if they finish a chapter and they answer the questions, you can give them a little badge. So to make it rewarding and fun for them.
Yeah, I love that. I do. And I love how your personal story aligns with what you're doing in the community, how you're giving away books to help parents with what you went through. Yes. And I'm pretty sure your mom probably would have appreciated this then. And I applaud your mom for actually going to the police. Some parents don't. They don't go to the police. Your mom did. She took you to the police. And I love that.
She did.
Yeah.
She did. She did. And I thank her for that. She listened. And I hear a lot of parents or a lot of people that I talk to have gone through things. Their parents didn't believe them.
Nope.
And my mom did.
Blows me away. I don't understand how a child has to defend themselves and to prove that they've been abused, but the abuser, we let them say they didn't do it and don't make them prove that they did it.
Right.
It's backwards in our society. They should be proving that they did not touch our child.
Right.
And I just don't understand that. No, I'm like, why are you believing this person, this adult, over your own child? Right. Start an investigation. They should have to prove that they did not harm your child.
Right.
So I love that. I love that you're doing something about it. So how can people protect themselves without using a gun? What are some things that we can do as individuals to use a different type of weapon if we're not comfortable with the gun? Some people are afraid of guns. Say, I don't want it in my home. Children get to guns. They don't always store them properly. We've heard these horrible stories. What is it that they can do?
So my favorite device, and I actually don't have on hand the one that I like the most, but I did order some. We have pepper sprays that have a button clip. So most younger children don't know, well, at least in my time, they didn't know how to unsnap a button, but nowadays toddlers are using iPads. So
You're right.
But we do have some that come in a pouch that you have to snap close. But I do have a pepper spray available. And our pepper sprays have a UV dye in them. So once you spray your attacker, they can be tracked under the blue light or the black light when the police catch them. So therefore, the evidence is written all over them.
Oh, wow. Okay, so I like that. I like that idea. I love that.
But we do offer pepper sprays. We also offer.
Well, let's go back to pepper sprays.
Okay.
What are some rules to using a pepper spray? Because some people have never used pepper spray before and they really don't know how it works.
So a pepper spray is my favorite because you don't have to actually come in contact with the person. So this one here, it has a little dial and you just slide it over. And then you just push down on it. And you would want to spray in a Z form, making sure you spray the eyes. Let me turn it off for safety. You want to make sure when you spray, the Z will cover the eyes, then come down through the nose, and because that is going to cover all the important areas. The eyes will burn, the nose will burn, and the mouth will burn. So they won't be able to see. It's going to burn the mouth and it's going to burn their nose. So they will definitely leave you alone. And they shoot up to 16 feet.
Okay.
So they don't have to get close.
That's pretty far. And
that's pretty far.
That's pretty good because some were like 5 feet, 6 feet. So that's a good distance where you can spray. You know?
Right.
Okay, I like that.
And some of them, we do have a lot of them that are keychain featured. So you can hang them on your keychains. This one particular one is not. But this one does have a safety feature, which is this cord here. So you can dangle it from your wrist. And if your attacker does get close enough, the pin will come out so that your attacker can't use it on you. So it's a safety feature so that they can't spray you, which I do like. And we also have ones that you can connect to your cell phone. It's called the protected pepper. And once you use it, you can send it up to, I believe, 5 people. It's 3 to 5 people, including the police, that will give the location of where you sprayed it. And the people that you have on your list will be notified. So that way they can get to you.
So there's an app that connects to your, let me get this right, because I'm just like, what? Okay. There's an app that connects to your pepper spray that when you release the pepper spray, it automatically sends a message to not only the police, but your family too.
Yes.
Oh, we need that for college kids.
Yes. Definitely.
You want your children to have that, especially I always want to send kids off to college with something. So that's all I kept thinking about. It was my college kids.
Yes.
Pretty good.
Yes. I did send mine off to college with one.
Okay.
Unfortunately, she forgot to leave it in the car when she went to theme park.
They took it?
They took it.
She should have turned back around and put it up.
That's what I told her, but I sent her another one.
Yeah.
And told her, sweetheart, you have to remember when you go to the airport, when you go to things where, you can't have these things, you have to leave it in the car.
In the car.
Or put it in your check bag, not in your carry-on.
I have to remember that too, because I always have some type of weapon on me. So I have to remember. My friends laugh because I always got something on me. But I hear so many crazy stories. So
yes,
I think
it's important.
It's important. All right, pepper spray. What's some other things about pepper spray? Like, will people get it blown? If they blow the pepper spray, will it blow back on them? Is there any chance that it'll get on them?
You do not want to use pepper spray indoors.
Okay.
It's best not to use it indoors if you don't have to. Because yes, it can, especially like if it's really windy or if you've got a fan blowing, there is a chance that it can.
Yeah. Okay.
So you don't want to, if you spray it on your hands and then touch your face, then it can, yes. However, both of you guys are going to get out of that situation pretty quickly.
Yeah, you too.
Yes. But, so yes, you want to be careful.
You want to be careful.
You want to be careful. But it is very, it's a lot safer than an accidental discharge.
Okay. Okay.
And for those who don't like having guns in their house or worried about the children getting hold of the guns,
It's safer.
it's a lot safer to have pepper spray and using water, to flush out their eyes than it is having an accidental discharge and an accidental death.
For me, thank you for saying about water, because I remember when my son got into the pepper spray, and my daughter was like, "Mom, Quan got into the pepper spray," and I was like, "Well, I bet he'll learn today. He'll learn." So, like, you will learn. Stop touching stuff. So children will touch your pepper spray because they want to test it out, just like they would test a gun. And so I want people to understand that you still have to put your pepper spray up and away from your kids, because they will try it and they want to see what it is.
They
So
will.
please put it up. And the other thing is, you have to practice. You have to be on the ready and know that this is how your pepper spray works. Because a lot of times people
Yes.
buy it and they never really know how to use it. So
Yes.
that was my downfall to looking at pepper sprays. Don't buy it and don't practice with it. You should be able to practice switching that lever real quickly.
Right. And you don't have to spray it to practice.
Right.
And I can give a class. And I do have targets available as well that I can print off for you. And it has the Z on there.
So that you could practice. Yeah.
So that you can practice.
And don't be nervous about spraying it. I would
Right.
tell you, I have pepper spray in my car, and some days, like if I'm at Kroger's at night at the grocery store, I have it on the ready. If
Yes.
you're getting out at night, you should have it out. It shouldn't be in your purse, because you don't have time to dig in your purse for no pepper spray. Right?
Right. It does you no good if you don't have it out and on the ready.
Right. You got to have it out and on the ready. So that's important. Okay. So
Yes.
what else can people do?
So I also offer stun devices. And a lot of people want to call them tasers, but there is a difference between a stun device and a taser. Okay. A taser shoots out projectiles that have to have cartridges, and you have to replace the cartridge. A stun gun does not shoot out projectiles. I have a few back here. And this one happens to be my personal one. And it is charged. And it also comes with a safety pin, so that your attacker cannot take it and use it against you. So without the safety pin in, it has a little flashlight. But when I have it on the ready, it doesn't fire. So that would be if the safety pin is not in, so that way my attacker can't use it against me.
Okay.
Now I'll insert the safety pin. So now it has a little red light that tells me it's ready to fire.
Come over.
Sometimes just the sound alone will deter your attacker.
Okay.
Now this one, you do have to make contact with the person, but this will drop somebody down to their knees. A lot of people are worried about the volts The volts don't matter. It's the milliamperes and how close together the prongs are. The closer together the prongs are, the more milliamperes that they're getting. And that's what makes it work. That this will work against somebody who is under the influence of drugs, alcohol. It will work. Of course, you have to be able to make contact. This one is keychain adaptable. This is called our little ringer. And I keep this one in my purse. When I'm out walking the dog, since it has the flashlight, I have it in my hand. Flashlight on the ready, just in case, because you never know. I
So
keep my pepper spray on my keychain.
Keychain in hand.
Yes.
Okay.
Because I like to layer my protection. Because if you can't get to one, you have the other. Because you just never know. You may have multiple attackers because sometimes, like with the trafficking, the sex trafficking, they set you up. They use one to talk to you and one to snatch you. So you never know. I always like to be safe.
You never know. I like the idea of layer of protection. Now, you used a word that I've never heard before. You said a milliliter. What did you say? What was
the milliamperes?
The milliamperes. Okay. So you want that to be high? Then the volt? Okay. So if a person was looking at the tasers, right?
The stun devices.
Stun devices. Okay, let me get this right. So stun devices have, what's the word again?
Milliamperes.
Milliamperes. And you want that to be high when you're picking one out.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I've never heard of that word. So
I learned a lot through this company.
I see. Okay. So do you recommend a stun gun over a taser, or which one do you recommend?
So I prefer the stun devices. Yes, just because like with the tasers, you have to purchase cartridges. And you use it once, it deploys, and you have to buy a new cartridge. The stun devices, you can use it more than once. And they are rechargeable. So this one here, let's see. It has, so if I push this button here, you can see, I don't know if you can see the blue lights.
I saw them.
Okay. That tells me my battery life. So, and they come with a car charger and a wall charger and a USB. Let's see. There's a USB port right here.
I can see it.
Yes. So it's rechargeable. You don't have to buy any cartridges. It's just a plug and go.
Some people don't like you up on me. So if they don't want a person up on them, would they just buy a taser then instead if they want the distance?
They can, but 9 times out of 10, and I've tested it, I push the button and people back up.
Okay.
Once they hear the noise.
Because they don't know what's coming.
Right.
Okay.
They back up.
How did you test it, Angie? How did you test it? I don't know, what did you do? Because you was in like the grocery store and was like, get back. What did you do?
So I have a teenage son. And all his friends call me mom. And they were studying for tests and they were getting the answers wrong. So I pushed the button. And they all scattered like roaches.
You done threatened somebody's kids.
I did.
The sound made them nervous. It's the absolute sound made them scared. Yeah, they were saying your mom crazy.
They did. They did. But they started getting those answers right.
They started getting the answers right. Yeah, they talking about you. Your mama crazy, but we still gonna come over because she cool. That's what they
did. They started getting those answers right.
start getting the answers right.
They did. They called me crazy, but I said I'm just gonna have to be Joe from the movie. What was
Crazy.
that movie? Oh, what was that movie called? I can't think of it right now.
Does it lean on me?
The one that locked the principal who locked all the doors? Yes.
I think it's
Crazy Joe.
Crazy Joe.
Just call me Crazy Angie.
That's what you do. Yeah, people need to know that you're crazy though. They need to know that.
I told him, I said, okay, well, I'm gonna ask the next question. And I held it in my hand and I said, okay. And I said, okay, what's the answer? And they gave me the wrong answer. I pushed the button.
And then said, look, I don't know if parents should do that. I don't recommend it, but just Angie say it worked.
They got the answer right?
Answer right, yeah.
Yeah, after 2 button pushes, they got the answer right. They got the answer right. No kids were harmed in the testing.
Got
That's
it.
my disclosure. No kids were harmed.
Your parents calling you. Somebody, I saw that show and you was talking about you was threatening my child.
Mine was included. Mine was included. And he was the first one that took off. He was a track star that day. But no, I have going through the parking lot when people get too close, because I do have PTSD. I do push the button and they back up because they don't know what it is and it scares them. And so they do back up and they look around, and so it does work without even touching anybody.
Can somebody die from a stun gun or a taser? Can you kill somebody?
I've never been asked that question.
Okay.
So that is a good question. I will have to.
Some people be like, well, I don't want to use it because I don't want to kill somebody. You know,
yes.
And so I think that that's sometimes a fear that people have of what weapons they use. Even though the person is attacking them, I think sometimes they don't want to hurt back. I don't know, maybe it's the military in me, but if you come for me, I'm coming for you. Like I have no. I'm coming back for you. So
well,
now
that's why we can go back to the pepper spray.
We can go back to the pepper spray. Yeah.
Yes. So there are many options. You can go back to the pepper spray, which shoots up to 16 feet.
Yeah.
So, and speaking of pepper sprays, I am offering buy a pepper spray and I will donate one to your organization. And that's going to be for the entire month of April. And I would like to donate those to victims.
Yeah. When you said that, it made me just feel like it just made my heart smile, because sometimes after you've been sexually assaulted or you've been in a real bad relationship, you need some things that may just make you feel a bit more secure, right? To kind of take your power back. And so those items is something that can do that. Just as simple as pepper spray or a stun gun, or, it can help you feel control again.
Yes.
So I wanted you to talk through them. Is there some type of training for the stun gun? Should people practice with it or no?
Well, when I practice, I used a balloon.
Okay. So it lets you know what it does. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
I did use a balloon. And sometimes during my vendor events, I will show people on a balloon. I'll stick like little prizes in there. And if people want to book an event, I'll let them stun a balloon to pick out their prize.
Love that.
Or their gift for hosting an event. So that way they can feel it and see how it works.
I also like the fact that you can try it to know that there won't be like a recoil or it won't jump back on you. You know what's going to happen when you press the button. So testing on a balloon will give you that mindset beforehand. And so I really like that a lot.
Yes.
So that's a good way to test it out.
Yes.
Love it.
Yeah. I do that at the table.
All right. Is there any other tips and tricks that you want to give us?
I do have other products. I didn't set them up tonight, but we do offer a lot. They're on my website. We have striking devices. I know a lot of sexual assaults happen on college campuses. So we do have like door stop alarms that you can put on your windows or under the doors. We have safety whistles. There's so much that we offer.
Okay.
Um,
I love it. I love the options. I'm going to show one of my favorite protection devices. Courtney said to ask you about jogging tasers. So is there a way to do you all sell jogging tasers, or this is something that you can use as you're running?
so we don't have specific jogging stun guns,
Okay.
but we do have gloves and armbands to make them accessible.
Oh, so you put it on like this and then you stick it in there?
Yes.
Okay.
So
Or
but it goes in the palm of your hand.
got it. Got it. Okay. Okay.
Yes. So you would put on the glove. And it's called the runner up. And then when you put it on, the pepper spray would sit right here. Wait, I can't. Let me see.
You can see it.
Let me configure this way.
I can see it. What you're doing, I can see it.
Okay.
You don't have to configure. You're good.
So that way, when you're jogging, your thumb is ready to push the trigger.
Okay, so it just sits comfortably in your hand.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
So
And
I
then we have one on the armband, so you can pull it out if you need, if that way makes you more comfortable.
like that. Courtney said cool, and she's giving you claps in the heart. So she like that.
Thank you,
So thank you,
Courtney.
Courtney. Yeah, I like it too. So I don't run anymore. I walk. I've gotten lazy since I got in the military, and I have disabilities. So I don't see a jogging device for me, but I could use it when I walk. So
Yeah, you can use it when you walk.
to use it when I walk. So I like that. Okay. Um, One thing I do want to tell people is that even though you have some type of personal protection device, it helps to get self defense classes as well. Like
Yes.
you need to prepare yourself, and uh, we always use War Tag, which is Lance Adams here in
Hmm.
Columbia. He does a lot of good self defense training. I love him; he's phenomenal. But you can also go to like your county and do your Richland County. Ours is Richland County Sheriff's Department. They give free self defense classes to women. Look in your at your police department, your sheriff departments in your area to see if there's some type of self defense class, and it might not be free or it may be free, but paying is worth it for your life. You know, pay for it to save your life. Be prepared. So not just as personal safety protection, but also you want to be prepared and aware at all times. You got to be aware. If you got a stun gun and you're not aware of your surroundings, you're not gonna be able to use it, right?
Right.
Walk up on you. So that's some of my safety spiel that I like.
Yes.
You may sell these, right? But this is what I love, and I got it out of the box. So I have like different stuff, and
Yes.
so this is a personal safety alarm that I absolutely love to carry,
Yeah.
and it does this. You pull it out. Look, this
Yep.
I love this thing because if you call for
Yes.
help, people not coming for you. Y'all had these too, don't you?
We do.
Yeah. So I love these. I love personal safety alarms. The event that we're doing this weekend, we're giving not this weekend, April 30th, we're giving these away for free. We have 1,000 of these to give away.
Okay.
Individuals, and you'll be there to the Stomp Out Crime event on April 30th
Yes, I will be there.
away because I love them. And so when we were talking about what would be a good giveaway, I was like, I want a personal safety alarm. And they was like a personal safety alarm. So I showed them that. It's like, yeah, you could put it on your book bag, you could put it on your keychain,
Yep.
and you just pull it whenever you need people to know that you're in danger. And people look at it, they won't even stop if you say help. And I always say call out fire before you call out help. And so
Right.
I'm thankful for you and all the devices that you have.
We
So
even have some of those for the children.
for kids too.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, they need, especially if they walk home by themselves or they're a latchkey kid.
Put it
They
on a backpack.
they need it on their backpack. They need a personal safety device. I think that's important to carry, and so I love them. That's my favorite. Pepper spray. Yeah, I got it, but it's not my favorite. But I got it. When I get out of my car, I have my pepper spray. I have a taser. No, I have a stun gun. Let me get it right. I got a stun gun next to my bed, and then on the other side of my bed is my 9 millimeter.
Okay.
Yeah, and I hide weapons all over my house. If you catch me upstairs, I got knives, I got machetes, and people be like, "Well, No, I'm not crazy. I just know that you need to protect yourself in your home and you need to feel comfortable. So if that's sleeping with a knife up under your pillow, do what you got to do to
Right.
protect yourself. You don't always have to have a gun.
Right.
And but I do. I believe in protection with
Yes.
weapons. But if you don't feel comfortable, or in addition to, put the knife up under your, don't put your gun on your pillow. Put the knife up under your pillow. And it just makes you feel better because some people have nightmares and dreams. So Courtney said exactly for the kids. So we need it for our children as well. So it's important.
Yes.
All right. Before we go, is there anything that you wanted to add before we end the show?
I do always say, even for those CWP holders or the open carry holders, you still need to layer your protection. And I always say, think about if you're at the gas station,
Mhm.
your weapon is in your car. Are you going to have time to reach in your car and grab it and have a shootout at the gas station with all those gas pumps? You're going to blow up. You might not have time to get to it. But if you have your pepper spray or your stun gun, that's going to give you time to either get to the weapon or, you know, give you some space to get away to drive off. Because you don't want to take the chance on missing and hitting the gas tank.
That's right.
But it is
And
at least going to give you time to get some separation to
and don't
drive
pump
off.
your gas at night. I see so many people at the gas station at night. Don't do that at night, especially if you're in a bad area.
Right.
Get the gas in the daytime.
Yeah.
'Cause you're absolutely right. It happens at the gas station. How can
Yeah.
people contact you, Angie?
So they can contact me either by email, through my website, or by phone. My email is empoweredbyangie2020@gmail.com. My website is www.mydamselpro.net/pro32800. Or you can contact me by phone at area code 254-768-6146.
All right. And do you mind if people call you with questions and just want to know more about what protection they could do?
I don't mind.
Okay. Love that. I love that. I think it's important for us to have somebody that we can talk, right? Um,
Yes.
Courtney says she's like me. She has weapons in every area of her house.
Yes, me too.
And Kim told me this. She said it's not easy at all to share your story. I still struggle with sharing mine. For me, it's about baby steps. I love it, Kim, and thank you
Yes.
for just deciding to hush no more tonight and just letting us know that you go through some things too, and it is baby steps. And so, and you are definitely an inspiration to those who are dealing with some of the same things. You know,
Thank
so
you.
I love it.
Thank you.
Can you say the special one more time about what will be the special for Sexual Assault Awareness Month and Child Sexual Abuse Awareness Month?
Sure. If you buy one of the Safe Hearts books, I will donate a book. If you buy a pepper spray, I will donate a pepper spray.
Yeah. So a way you can support survivors and yourself is by purchasing one and then having one donated to Hush No More. And I will tell you, if you know me, you know I give out everything. I will give it out to those that need it because it's very important that we protect ourselves. And so I thank you so very much. I'm so excited and honored that you're even doing that. This way we could be a blessing to the people.
Yes.
Right.
And there will be a special link on my website for Hush No More.
All right, so you got to share that link with me so I can share it on our page and kind of promote it for the month so that people will know and just what you're doing.
Okay.
And
And
I
then on the page, it will say Hush No More.
got it. Hush No More. That's the link, y'all. Hush No More. And I'm gonna put the link in the comments as well because it's so important
Okay.
to do that. Okay. But thank you so very much.
You're
We
welcome.
heard from the amazing Angie, right? She is a distributor for Damsel in Defense, and she really knows about safety and uses her own experiences, her own story in life to be able to encourage others. And so I encourage all of you to be able to do the same, and for you to get information for yourself, protect yourself, grab your power back, use a weapon, whatever it is that makes you feel comfortable. Do what you got to do to feel safe in your own home. That is so important. We have a lot of events coming up for Sexual Assault Awareness Month and Child Sexual Abuse Awareness Month. On Saturday, April the 9th, we are doing the Hush No More Against Sexual Abuse 5K. It's a virtual event, but you can also come out with us at Crane Creek off of Fairfield Road and walk with us on Saturday morning at 8 o'clock. On the 10th, we are having the Hush No More documentary screening that shares the stories of survivors and how they healed. And we'll have a discussion afterwards. That's all virtual. You can sign up as well. And then on April the 30th, we are doing Stomp Out Crime. This is an event to bring the community together. We'll have free food, free clothes, brand new clothes, y'all. All the clothes are not going to be used. We're going to have car clubs out there, HIV testing, health screenings. There's so much. You can get COVID vaccines, testing. It is going to be a great day. And I always say free food because that's what brings people out, right? That's like the most important thing. But we're also going to give you the personal safety devices that I mentioned. Angie will be there. There'll be a lot of vendors, nonprofit organizations. It's going to be a great day. It's not too late to sign up for that. Even if you want to be a vendor, you can still join us. And we're excited about the day. It's the day that we talk about stomping out crime, and we're going to have events. And the DJ Sub Zero is going to be on the wheels of steel. I'm gonna date myself by saying that. I know it's gonna be a great day. So I just always encourage you to look for sexual assault awareness events in your area. There are a lot all over, and there are a lot of them that's virtual. So do something special during the month of April in honor of a survivor. It really makes a difference for us to see you doing that. Or if you just tag me in your Hush No More t-shirt, you make my heart smile. So I thank all of you for joining us. I thank you, Angie, and I wish you much success on your healing journey, and also as an entrepreneur, I wish you much success and thank you for donating to Hush No More. So peace and blessings to you.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.